on the STG Shmups category. I'm going to attempt to do a little walkthrough for you of the new game Natsuki Chronicles, just level 2 on the normal difficulty, and see if we can work out a few bits and pieces about how things happen and why, and what you can do about it. Okay, so this is going to be a detailed analysis. I've got a little program here that lets me take one of my runs and scrub it backwards and forwards, and that's what I'm going to be using to talk you through this. So let's kick off. This is the beginning of level 2, and what we can see coming into the level is we've got 2 arrows showing where the enemies will appear. One's hidden behind this character. By the way, side note, this is the story mode that I've used because it's easier to just select which level you want to play. If you do it arcade and you don't like the run for the recording, then it's a bit of a pain to go back and do it again. So this is in story mode, which means you won't see the weapons pickups, but I've configured the weapons to be as close to the normal ones as possible to do this run. So what we see here is 2 flags which you can just about see say alpha, the Greek letter alpha, and so this describes a formation. Natsuki Chronicles gives you a bonus based on the formations, and the formations come through with the letters alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, which, if you know anything about Greek, are the first 4 letters of the Greek alphabet. So this effectively waves 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as far as I know, these tags help you to identify which group is which, because you get bonuses for taking out the entire group. So these particular formations are coming in from here. It's wrong color. Let's say here and here. And the reason I've picked level 2 is because it's where things start to get a little bit interesting, in that the enemies shoot back at you. So what we're going to do is take a look and see these first guys who come out here. Let's just get it to where their shots come out. So we can see that they've started shooting, and what I'm going to do is draw a line from that one to my ship and this one, and what we should see is that these bullets follow exactly that line, those 2 lines. And what we can get from this is that these characters are shooting aimed shots. So for each one that comes out, let's take the second ones as an example here. If I do this in a different color, these guys' bullets are going to be aimed here and here. And so if you follow the second bullets that came out, they follow, give or take a few degrees, they follow that trajectory. So what we want to do, the start of level 2 is actually, it's quite a strong puzzle, because you're being given characters top and bottom of the screen, and told that you need to wipe them all out in one go. And the minute you duck down out of the way, here goes the last guy, and once he's off screen, that's it. I've blown that wave and I've blown that bonus. So after I've been through this like B grade run, I might run a little bit of a S grade pass that I did on the same level to show some of the differences. So let's say with these, we know that the puzzle is that we've got problems top and bottom, and that we need to take account of the fact that the bullets are aimed. So everywhere that we go, the bullets will kind of follow us, the ones that are emitted at that point in time. So let's take all this off. Oh, can I take it off? Please tell me I can take it off. Oh, come on. Right, hang on. We might have a technical here with the... Oh, my screen's locked up. That's not going to be much fun. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll see if I can come out of this and start again. Right, here we go. So, skipping through this first wave, let's say that as the first wave come along, and they are going to travel on, the first alpha wave is traveling at this and this height, and now we can see there's a beta wave coming along on afterwards, which is on a kind of narrower path, and so you've got a better chance of taking out the beta wave, because at that point your ship shot should be able to kind of cover this and this ground. So as long as you're located around there by the time the second wave come out, that should allow you to just wipe them all out at source, maybe with a little bit of jiggling up and down to avoid their bullets. And we can clear off those lines. So beta wave come out. Now I think you'll see here that I've managed to take all of these ones down, and you should then see this is your bonus. This is what you're looking for. So each wave that gets identified from the flags before it comes on, it will be alpha, beta, gamma, or delta. And if you get that whole wave, if you knock out that whole wave, you'll get a bonus. And it will tell you which wave you've got it for. So in this case, it's beta. Now, the one thing I haven't worked out is if there's any clever trickery, because I can't really understand why there would only be, why they use these 4 letters, and the bonuses are different depending on each wave. Some of them are bigger than others. It's not like it's directly proportional to the ships that you've destroyed, I don't think. So anyone's got any ideas on that, I'd be very happy to hear it. So we've got the beta wave, and actually, yeah, you can just see here, if I get it a bit closer, that you've got your gamma wave coming along here. So that's all the beta wave gone, and then gamma wave is, yeah, you can just see there the gamma bonus, which is the same as the beta bonus for some reason. Now, what you'll notice on screen here as well is that we're now showing a delta wave, but that doesn't seem to cover this little guy who's just appeared on screen. So if we look, what is the delta wave? Oh no, it is these little guys. Okay, so these guys form the delta wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I get this guy? I think I deliberately missed him to kind of illustrate the point that you won't get the bonus wave there. And I'm not sure if there's any longer term penalty to skipping a particular one of alpha, beta, gamma, or delta, or whether it just takes off the points at the end of the level for just missing that formation. So if we look carefully, we've been through alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, and now we're back to another alpha wave. Now this is where things start to get a bit interesting, because we've got a character here which is part of the alpha wave, a very small like popcorn enemy, and then this giant missile silo down here. And you'll notice that the missile silo, we've got the alpha sign flashing up here, and the missile silo doesn't have any like formation code alpha, beta, gamma, delta attached to it. So in a sense, you want to prioritize the smaller enemies coming in from the top. And if I take these marks off, let's just have a think about what these do. So they look very small. They start off, it looks like they only shoot 1 shot. But if you kind of deliberately let them run around a bit, you can see that what they're doing is they're emitting shots in a fairly random manner, and they travel around the screen in a fairly random manner. But what's happening is that as they travel around, especially once, say, this one's gone down low here, in the middle of all these shots here, you are going to have a problem following this guy down here because of all the noise that's going on here. So the thing to do with these is, once you know they're coming and you're studying your level, make sure that once you know this alpha wave's coming, you move yourself up to about this region here, so that you can take these things out at source when they appear. You do not want to let them run around the screen. So that's kind of like the puzzle element there. Missile silo, what's that going to do? It looks like as we go along, it's opening up, and then this is what happens. They emit like a barrage of missiles. And those will kind of home in on your position where you were when they were launched. And so now what we've got on the screen is just a whole bunch of noise. We've got shots from the different small alpha wave enemies, and now what's going to happen is we're going to have a group of missiles traveling about like this, and you can see that they're continuing somewhat to home in. So let's rewind to the beginning of this section. Let's just take all this off. What we can see is that after we've been through these jumping enemies who are the gamma wave, no, the delta wave of the first set, we get like a moment's silence at this point after the last one's been taken down. And so the best thing I think to do is to use that time to get in, knock out this missile silo completely early. They only take like a few hits, and then immediately get back up to this region and take out these small enemies before they can crowd up the screen with all this noise. Because once you get noise like this on the screen, there's no way you can go back and say track this guy down, because there's too much noise going on behind you. That's not going to happen. And this is one reason why I'm showing you like a B grade run, is because when you, if you see someone run this, if you just watch super plays, what you'll see is that the person will come along and they will just knock out the silo, and then they'll knock this out and then knock this, and then they'll be firing in this kind of area here, and you'll never see most of these bullets emerge because they will have taken down the enemies before you see them. But what I'm trying to produce here is something for beginners to look at these puzzles and see them for what they are, and try and figure out how you get from the initial information in your replay to something that's kind of meaningful in helping you to up your grade, in whatever game, or not even your grade, but your score and your ability to survive. Right, let's hop on past these guys. So beta wave that we can see coming in now is just more of these purple guys. So try your best to dispatch them at the level they seem to. There you go. Beta bonus 8,000. Gamma wave is coming out, and yeah, 8,000 gamma bonus up here. So that's all fairly straightforward. Then we start getting these little ground enemies that look a bit like Gradius kind of cannons. And their job, if we look at what they do, is not a great deal. That one's just gone down straight away. Okay, we'll come back to those ground cannons. There's more of them later. This type of enemy that's falling from the sky now, that you see here, this is a wave, but it's not, weirdly, it's not, if you look at the arrows here, despite the text over the top, they don't actually say that this is like an alpha beta gamma formation. They're just saying that this is something coming your way. So that's interesting, because later on you'll see the same thing and it will be characterized as a formation. So let's have a look at what these things do. They don't seem to shoot any shots. They come down from the top in a straight line, and then they hit the ground. As soon as they hit the ground, they are heading straight up at this angle. So let's just follow this first guy. So if we say this guy's coming straight down, and then he's going to follow this trajectory here, and all of them are going to do about the same. Now what's happening is, if these are fairly low hit point, so you can see I think I just about wiped the first one out, but once they cluster up like this group here, the first one starts to kind of like bullet block against the second ones, because you can see that this guy, hang on, this guy here has gone a slightly red color and the other two haven't. And what this means is he's going to block off your bullets against, and the second two, then you're not going to have time to take them down, and that's why at this point you can see me getting hit over here. So what we ideally want to do is take up position where we know these things are going to end up, and then start shooting from the left hand side of the screen in this kind of avenue. So we take them out as they're coming down, and if we miss them on the way down, we'll take them out as they're bouncing up. That would be the way to go about solving this particular like encounter. So let's move on past there. So here's some more of these Gradius ground cannons. And so we've had one so far, now here's two. Fine, okay, and now these ones have kind of are shooting shots, and it's quite obvious really. Oh, actually the earlier ones did it as well. In fact, they did it in amongst all the confusion of these little spinners. So this guy here, Let's just get his shot right back to the beginning. His shot is coming straight up this way, I'm guessing. Yeah, you can see pretty much that these guys are shooting aimed shots. So as long as you know to move around and kind of not go back where you were, you can get these guys removed quite easily. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned here is that for the entirety of level 2, the floor is a no-go zone. You will take a hit if you hit the floor. And once these little cannons start coming out, you need to go low so that you can hit them. And the problem is that that kind of traps you near to the floor, because they're generally going to be firing kind of over your head. So you have to, there's no way around this actually. You kind of have to get used to just tap dodging, and to a point where your stream of fire will actually hit these guys um, when you're low enough, but without you actually bumping into the floor. And that's just a kind of tough luck scenario where you just have to learn how to do it to clear stage 2. Okay, what have we got now? Another alpha wave of, no, sorry, delta, my bad. Oops, wrong sign. Delta wave. These guys, we've seen them before on level 1. This is kind of a little breather moment where really what we've got here, we've just got enemies that coming from 2 different positions that are going to converge this way, somewhere near the ship, and they generally don't come any further than this as long as you knock them out quickly. So let's take a breather, take these out, and pick up our delta wave bonus, which is there. And now we're back to cannons on the floor. So now what we've got is ground cannons plus missile silo plus, if you can just see up here, another wave, and the alpha wave, the next alpha wave. So now what we're saying is quickly go and take these ground cannons out if possible, take the missile silo out, and then you can kind of pan back up this way to deal with the little popcorn enemies. And there's the alpha bonus. So as I say, I'm not sure whether these bonuses get affected by time that you take to shoot them down, or whether you've missed any of the previous ones. They seem to kind of come in at different amounts. And that's TBC in my study. All right, what have we got now? So new type of enemy. These funny spinning, like what look like English letter D's in reverse. Let's see if we can just trace that out very badly. So what are these guys doing? They look pretty harmless. They look like most of the other popcorn that have come along, but if you don't get on top of these quickly, they can cause you a headache after a couple of seconds. Let's take a look at this first guy here. What exactly is he doing? So when he starts shooting, this bullet is quite clearly going off somewhere that's not towards me. What about the net? But then he produces another one. Now this other one looks like it's going very directly towards me. And then if we go slowly, he produces a third one, which is kind of going down here. It's this little fella here. Oops. This little fella here. And what we can conclude from this is that these guys are actually shooting an aimed 3-way shot. If you've played any amount of Shmups before, you'll have seen this, where you've got one that's aimed towards you in the middle, and 2 on the sides that just kind of like hem you in a bit. I need to start drawing these the right way. And it's the middle one that you kind of need to worry about when they all come out at the same time. But what we've got here is first 1, 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6 of these guys, all doing this kind of like offset timed W spread pattern, 3-way spread pattern. And as you can see, what the net effect of that is just to noise up the screen. So all of this here is just headache and noise. So really, again, this is one of those times when you just need to try and be preemptive. As soon as you get this guy, it's very distinctive. You know what's going to come next. They all appear from about in a window of about like this. So you want to get yourself in a position where you can kind of be just blasting into that window. Don't be too low, don't be too high, and just try and take them out preemptively before all this noise gets on the screen, because ultimately more noise on screen just means like more of a chance that you're going to slip up. Let me see, or like this, just get hemmed in like I did here. NB, no bombs in this game, and that's what the NB stands for. So like you have these green options, which I'm actually really bad at using, these little fellas here. Now you can use those in various formations. The most the one that you get given most at the beginning is a forward kind of blocker, so that it's probably like that, and it will block bullets coming in there a little bit like an R-type pod, but you have to choose to put it there for that to happen. And as you can see, like, that's still not going to solve your problem with all this noise up here. It's a solution only really for like head-on collisions. So, as you can see, you get hemmed in here, and not to forget that there's these little guys that are coming in and joining in the fight. You're just getting a lot of noise if you don't preemptively take down these little D enemies in the first place, and make sure that you're in clear space like this space or this space, not this space here. So more of these jumping guys, they're fairly easy to deal with once they appear. But look, let's just have a look at something here. We got, for this beta wave of the W spread firing enemies, we've got 15,000 is the bonus. And then once we kind of duck around here a bit and take these guys out, and that's a 30,000 bonus, and I really can't tell you what that's proportional to. So as I say, any thoughts on that matter gratefully received. All right, another wave of these D guys that are this time going to come up much closer to the edge of the screen and cause this trouble. So again, preemptive strike on those is a must. Now we get down to this section where we get the real ground robot trouble. This guy here emits these tiny annoying little triangles, and I'm not sure we'll see it so easily here because I'm gonna have wiped them all out. But let's just have a look at these ones over here. They travel around, and if they last long enough, there you go. It's this scenario here. So if you watch this guy, he's traveling on his own. He came out from this sort of little factory down here, and he's going to travel up and then spit out a shot which is aimed directly at me, basically. Oops, wrong one. Aimed directly at me like this. So again, this is a question of needing to try and knock these things down as quick as you can. And if there's any that you get left over, you're just going to have to track up and down to avoid these kind of aimed shots. This is what tends to happen now. We're entering a section where you've got these covered areas, and what's going to happen is this is also an area that you can't bump into alongside the floor, and you're going to have to choose whether you go up or down. And you can't do both simultaneously. Your shots won't penetrate this middle section, so you're either going to have to clean out the bottom first and then the top, or vice versa. And they ramp this up as you go along. It's actually quite a fun puzzle to figure out. So let's take this. This is our kind of first encounter with the enclosed space, I think. Now we've got more of these drop from the sky and bounce guys as an alpha wave. So we want to try and take them all out. Again, I'm assuming that they're going to follow the same path as before, so we're going to want to take up position about here and just fire straight into this area here to try and take them all down. Now, did I pull this off? Yes. These last two, there you go, and a 16,000 bonus. And same again, same story. Here you can see that one's about to get away out here, so there's not going to be any wave bonus for this part. And we're now entering into the first of the kind of fully indoor sections of the level, and it's kind of a story where we've got more of these original kind of enemies coming from the top level and bottom level, but with some added noise now from ground robots and like a missile silo. So in terms of puzzling out how to get these, I guess you've got to try and, I think it's probably best to take one wave out as quickly as you can at the bottom, and then move up and maybe do like reverse fire for any that you've missed at the top, to try and get both together. So aim shots from these guys and a missile silo with these missiles. All of these missiles, by the way, have like a single hit point, so you can just take them down once you've dealt with that. Once you dealt with the silo. Okay, new type of enemy here, and you can see again he's not being given a Greek character for his name. We're just seeing him for the first time. So these guys, what do? They're gonna come on screen, take up position like this, and then he's gonna fire a fixed pattern like this. These are parallel in real life. And then let's have a think about what this guy's doing next. He's going to fire fixed, and then he's going to fire what looks like a three-way spread directly behind the fixed element. So let's have a look. This way, and this way. If I've got that right. So first he fires a three-way spread, but then you can see, being cheeky, he's going to fire a four-way spread, which is going to cover the gaps. Let me do this in a different color. It's going to cover the gaps in his original spread. So this is what you've got to look out for. These guys are quite complicated, and when they start putting two of them against you, you've got to have your wits about you in terms of how you take them down. Ideally, what you want to do is get yourself positioned so that you can tuck in here if you've got the nerve, and fire your main shot directly down into them and try and take them out before these spreads start coming out. On one spread on its own is dodgeable because it's just it's basically through here and then through here. But immediately next you see they're going to bring two of them on as like a formation. Now these guys are going to follow the exact same pattern, but now what you've got is 4 lines of parallel fire, and this is where it gets really tricky. We're going to have, let's say the first guy is going to shoot a 3-way. Second guy is going to do his 3-way. And then each of them, if you don't take one of them down, is going to do this 4-way that's going to end up just causing you a huge number of headaches. This guy, this, and this. So as you can see, this is noisy as hell. And in terms of solving this as a puzzle, I really think you're better off. You can try and take one of them down through the original parallel fire, so that then you just don't have to deal with this spread pattern from that enemy. And then you've got only one of them to deal with again. So it's kind of you can't preemptively take them both out. You need to preemptively take one out, and then deal with the spread from the others. Now I just want to see one thing. Have we got anyone? All right. So hi to anyone who happens to be watching. We're just doing a walkthrough of Natsuki Chronicles Level 2 on normal difficulty, and trying to solve some of the puzzles of the enemies that are in the separate waves that come along. These guys we've seen before earlier in the level, and we kind of know what to do. It's a question of preemptively taking them out before they spit all this noise on screen, and duck out of the way. You can see actually this is pretty cheeky. Like this first one's gone kind of like this. Second one is also like diving down here, and they're leaving fields of fire in your way for you to, before you can come down and try and take them out at this lower level. So yeah, the only way to deal with these is to fire preemptively. If we take a look at where they come out, let's say the first one's here, second one's here, third one's here, fourth one's up here, any more, one here. So they all come out pretty much within the top half of the screen, and that was the same earlier in the level as well. So if you concentrate your fire only in that top half and try and preemptively take them all down, that's how you solve that part. Okay, so cannons in the roof, we haven't seen them before. Oh, by the way, in case you hadn't guessed, throughout these enclosed sections of level 2, the roof is also off limits as well as the floor, so you don't have the scope to go all the way up to the top of the screen. So you've got to kind of bear that in mind when you're kind of building up your route, that for these parts you're going to have to stay in between that kind of sandwich roof and floor area. Okay, straightforward wave of popcorn, 1 and 2, and you've just got to kind of step. Okay, so now here's 2 of these fixed guys. Now they're firing their weapons in a kind of offset manner. First one, then first one, then the other. However, this gives you a bit more time to take down the first guy from this position, and as you can see, if you cut him off before the other guy can get to shooting these kind of spreads, then you give yourself a bit more breathing space to take him out. Although it's risky as to whether you can take him down in this last left-hand area or not. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So you kind of have to be a bit quick on the draw there. Missile silo got kind of taken down while I was figuring out what to do about these guys. And this is as a single version of this enemy, fairly straightforward. You know what to do now. Some more of these D enemies coming to put some noise on the screen. Take them out. Some more jumping enemies. Try and take them out without getting too much noise in your face. Purple popcorn. Double missile silo. Okay, we haven't seen that before, but we kind of know what to do. Deal with the body of the machine and then deal with the shots. Ground cannon. Some more of these bouncing guys. Did I get this? Oh, I didn't manage to get this one. So we kind of know what to do about these by now. Now, this is where it starts to get really quite fun and complicated. We've got another section of scenery, like, what's the word? Like danger scenery, like geographical hazards or whatever they're called, both on the middle and still on the floor, although we're out of having the ceiling be part of the problem as well. And what we can see coming into this is we've got loads of noise being generated by these triangle shots. However, if we know that all of these will probably only get a chance to emit one shot, you can herd those shots. So if you keep your ship up here, you can herd all these bullets, as you can see, from up here and down here into this one area. Oops. And while they're all coming in there, you've got a chance to duck down and take out the rest of the wave. So that's fairly straightforward. Unfortunately, we've still got 2 of these things running around up here, which is probably going to cause headaches, but they do eventually go off screen. Alright, so now we're just basically getting mix-ups of patterns that we've already seen, kind of groups, formations of enemies that we've already seen. Jumping cannons, bouncing crosses, but this is one of the really like heaviest parts of the stage. We've got another like piece of geographical hazard over here. 2 different, or I think, or one missile silo up here, and a bunch of this kind of flying triangle noise down here. And really, you've just got to kind of tough this one out. Choose which like alleyway you're gonna clear out first, top or bottom. And now I want to know actually, because what happens is once you get past this kind of middle hazard, you suddenly start getting a ton of these triangles, and they don't seem to come from anywhere. There's nothing that was left behind in terms of enemies. So really, I think this is just something to keep you on your toes. Best advice is to definitely get your reverse shot out at this point, so that you can try and clear at least one of these alleyways um, in the first instance, to give yourself a bit of cover for the next encounter. Right, here we go. Two of these guys in formation again. Um, yeah, and as we've said before, this is, you kind of got to either just duck out the way or try and aggressively take down one or the other of them first. A bit of breathing space with these guys. And then I think we're coming up to, yeah, the final encounter. So when you start seeing these drone looking helicopters, you know you've arrived at the boss section. Now if I just can I just let this run? Yeah, it's probably going to take out my music so in the background, but let me see if I can let it run. So I had trouble with this boss at first, and what I'm going to do is probably going to wrap this up now. I might do a session on the boss fight another next time I come on and do this. One thing we can quickly take a look at, if I just pause this. So this is your end of stage bonus section, all of this stuff here. And what you can see is that you get your stage score. That's the points that you picked up for killing enemies and uh, taking out formations as you were going through the stage. But then you get a separate kind of points rating, where you've got like a target's destroyed set of points. Actually, I'll do that like this. Targets destroyed. You've got formations destroyed, and then you've got hits taken and a clear bonus. So in each of these cases, what we want to see is if you look at this overall rating of 67% that gets me a B plus, that's actually composed directly of 30, let's call this 34 points, and let's call this 33 points, and that gets you exactly to the 67. So it's your end stage bonus where you're aiming for some kind of like S, as to say that you've done it well, is that you've taken down pretty much 100% of all the formations, of all the enemies that have come on screen, whether they're formations or not. And then you've taken down every formation, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and taken effectively no hits, or a low number of hits that will allow you to take some points from that section. And then obviously here I haven't cleared the stage, I haven't beaten the boss, so there's no clear bonus. So I'm going to play out. I think I'm just going to quickly switch this back to the run that I had in the bag. That's like an S-class run. Excuse my daughter's drawings. And let's see if we can get some. So, for anyone who's watched this and follow me all the way through, it's my first time doing it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's something that you think is useful. And yeah, I'll endeavour to get some more information up, maybe on the level 2 boss fight or level 3, which I haven't fully cleared yet, in the near future. All right, thanks and peace out.